Cleveland at Cleveland. Now, you think to yourself, Colin's just going to rip the Browns. This is the difference between the NFL and college. Let's just take Tennessee and Cleveland. Tennessee last year, the 5-point underdog, destroyed New England and Dallas and beat Philadelphia and the Houston Texans. They beat 4 playoff teams, 2 they crushed. Cleveland went 1-5 against playoff teams. The one win was over Joe Flacco, who got benched. So Tennessee's proven we can go up against the best in the league and hammer them. Cleveland has not proven that. Tennessee last 3 years, 9-7, 9-7, 9-7. A consistent winning football team. Cleveland's won 8 games in 3 years. They haven't proved they can consistently win. Most important unit in the NFL is offensive line. Tennessee's is rated as number 4, Pro Football Focus. Cleveland's is rated 20th, and many subscribe to the belief that their starting tackles are bottom 5 in the NFL combined, left-right tackle. The coach for Tennessee, Mike Vrabel, 9-7 in his first year. They were the least penalized team in the NFL. They're well coached. Cleveland has a rookie head coach. Tennessee added Adam Humphries, best slot receiver available in free agency, productive and low maintenance. Cleveland added the highly dramatic, talented, but often injury-prone Odell Beckham. So on paper, if I reverse those, you'd say Cleveland should be a touchdown favorite. They're a 5.5-point favorite. They have a deficit on consistently winning, beating good teams, offensive line, head coach, and they added more drama than Tennessee did. That game has upset written all over it, and Tennessee may just go in there and just lay the wood on Cleveland for 3 hours. By the way, we'll have the guy on, Mark Anthony Green, the author of the Odell GQ interview. There's just a lot of different stuff in it. Number one is he's got, as I said to start the show, he's got some big lofty goals. I don't think he can attain them, his football goals, simply because he's got a really talented guy next to him, Jarvis Landry, who averages 90 catches a year, and he's not given his buddy 40 of those. So I don't think Odell's ever going to reach the football goals he has in Cleveland. It's not because of Baker. In fact, Baker will probably do as good a job as you can possibly do getting him the football. But this team in Cleveland just added to their strengths. They had running backs. They added another. They had great receivers. They added another. That's not what Cleveland needed. Cleveland needed offensive line help. So it's a fascinating architecture, a fascinating build, and Odell will never reach his goals because he's simply around too many other mouths that need to be fed. The other thing he said, he compared himself to Tom Brady, and this is a little troubling when, you know, everybody's got issues, and we all know we have issues. If I talk to Joy about her issues, or I talk to me about my issues, I know my issues. I've gone to therapy over my issues. The problem is when somebody doesn't see their issues, and they don't think they're an issue, that's when problems arise. Basically, Odell sees himself, he just cares a lot about football, just like his friend Tom Brady. He says, you know, Tom throws a cup, yells at refs, yells at his coach. It's because he cares that bad. He wants to win. But because he's got 6 Super Bowls, they validate it and say, well, he's won 6 Super Bowls. You know, when I'm kicking a net or whatever, they're mad at me. Uh-oh, no, that's not it, Odell. And I like you, but that's not it. You peed in the back of the end zone. You proposed to a kicking net. Week before a playoff game, you make sure a picture gets out with you and a bunch of guys with blunts on it. Odell, you're not Tom Brady. When Tom Brady shows brief emotion in a game, it is a brief, productive argument with or a snip with an offensive coordinator to get them to another level. It is not dragged on. It's an outlier. In fact, there's a reason we always show Brady yelling at this Josh McDaniel. Because it never happens. This is why we always show this one piece of tape in 19 years. Here, Tom Brady yells at his coaches, and we always bring out the same piece of tape because it doesn't happen. Odell Beckham, we did something a year ago, we said, or 6 months ago, we said, what are his 10 most memorable moments? 7 of 10 were non-football. Okay, Tom Brady ripped up his hand before they played Jacksonville. It was a disturbing gash. That was later, a picture of it came out. It was disgusting. He kept it totally private. Nobody saw it until weeks and weeks later. Odell Beckham got hurt against, I believe, Cleveland. And the dramatic response to it, lying down in the tunnel, he was on the field. Odell Beckham, these are not outliers. This is the brand of Odell Beckham, which is he wears people out. He's highly emotional. You don't know day-to-day, possession to possession, week to week, the Odell you get. But he sees himself as Tom. Now, there's a reason that when in 19 years, the first time we'd ever seen a little bit of a schism between Belichick and Brady, the first time we ever saw it, it wasn't even Tom talking about it. Do you remember that? So the only time in 19 years we're like, ooh, Belichick and Brady are fighting, it was Tom's wife who brought it up in this 5-second clip.
These last 2 years have been very challenging for him in so many ways. And I think he just want, he tells me, I love it so much and I just want to go to work and feel appreciated and have fun.
A benign comment. We were like, whoa, we got ourselves a crazy fight here. Because it's an outlier. And that piece of video is an outlier. That's why we only show one piece of video. With Odell Beckham, he's been in the NFL 70% less than Tom has. His career's not even now a third of Tom, and I've got 15 pieces of crazy video. But he sees himself as, I'm Tom, we're passionate. That would worry me. I do not think they're the same people. I think they're all-time talents, but there is a difference between exceptions and outliers. It's why we always run the same two pieces of tape. Yelling at Josh McDaniels for a second, and his wife going, he just wants to be respected. And that's all we have in 19 years. That's it. The cupboard's bare. And that was the first time we went, Brady and Belichick have a problem here. And then it went away and they won the Super Bowl. That's usually the end result for all the New England problems. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Right, you mentioned these two earlier, comparing Jarvis and Odell. We're all wondering if James Harden and Russell Westbrook can coexist.
Yes.
And they're the two most ball-dominant, isolation-heavy players in the NBA. Are they going to fit together? Well, Harden says he isn't concerned.
It's that trust factor. I trust him, he trusts me. And, obviously with the group that we already have and, the things that we've already accomplished, it should be an easy transition for him just to, be incorporated right in. You communicate and you go out there and you compete and possession by possession, you figure things out. Throughout the course of the season, you figure things out. And that's just what it is, But when you have talent, you have guys with IQ, you got guys that are willing to sacrifice, it always works itself out.
So the talent isn't what I'm personally concerned with.
Yeah, that doesn't worry me either.
The thing I'm most concerned with is the coaching and the